All right, what's going on, Legion fans? Welcome to episode 3 of The Bad Batch, The Replacements, man.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
You got to remember.
Yeah.
This is the Bad Podcast.
Oh, that's right, The Bad Pod.
The Bad Pod.
Yeah. Well,
For the Bad Batch.
for The Bad Batch. That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right. Yeah, they took our name for it.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we
called
had it first, clearly.
This was
Trademarked everything
Yeah.
ahead of time, and then the Bad Batch came out.
Star Wars
before we
doesn't-
even started as Legion.
Star Wars doesn't. They don't follow rules.
That's true. They do what they want,
Blaze their own
just
path.
like the Bad Batch does.
This is the way.
This is the way.
All right. Well, we are still kicking, man. The second episode we talked about was a little bit of a lull.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to follow up that first episode. That first episode was amazing.
So great.
Second one was a bit of a lull.
Yeah.
This third one, I was really impressed with.
Right back in, man.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Little disappointed in the length. I don't know if you noticed.
I didn't even
They
look at the
dropped it down again. It was only 28 minutes compared to like 31 or 32.
Yeah. You know what, though? Still
What?
longer than WandaVision.
Still longer than WandaVision, yes.
Most of the episodes. But yeah, that's true.
And the whole thing is,
They got 16 episodes, though. That's
I'm
a
not.
lot.
I'm not that
Yeah,
upset
yeah.
by it, other than the fact I want more.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, don't cheat me out of 3 minutes. You give me that 3 minutes
That's right.
back.
And that's good. That's
Yeah.
the fact that this show is already pulling us in that much.
Yes.
That we
Yes.
want more and more and more. I felt like it was similar in Falcon and Winter Soldier, where it's just
Right.
like,
Of course.
I just
of
want
course.
the next episode. I want the next episode. I can't wait
Right.
for a whole week. You know,
You know,
that's a
people
great
are
feeling.
people are always debating this. Like, you just release all of them,
Right.
the whole
Do we
season,
binge the season,
or do we release them week
Yeah.
by week? I like the week by week
I do
because it
too.
allows us to
Yeah.
catch up and discuss each
It's
episode.
purely selfish.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
we'd be trying to crush
Oh,
a
it'd be
whole
terrible.
season
That would be
into
terrible.
like 1 or 2 episodes. That'd be
Yeah.
awful.
Well, it's kind of nostalgic for us because
Yeah,
as kids, we were
yeah.
growing up. It's like if you missed an episode,
There's
you
no
missed it.
streaming.
No, like at least we can go back and watch it if we missed the episode. But like when we were growing up, if you missed an episode,
Yeah,
you had to wait till reruns happened.
yeah.
Like, that
and
was
who
it.
knew?
You maybe
who
never
knows
even
when
got
that
it.
was going to happen?
Especially if the show like didn't do well, and you're never gonna get a rerun.
Right.
You're never gonna see it.
Right.
So, but you always had that week, and that week
You had
creates.
to check, dude. I was seeing
Yeah.
on Facebook
Yeah.
these like, if you know what this is, you are old.
Oh, yeah.
things. And it was a
Aw.
TV guide.
Oh,
And
I
I was
love
like,
those.
I
Yeah.
remember having to have to be like, well, let me check the TV guide.
Yeah, see the
now I don't
listings.
even have cable now.
Well, cable still has the TV Guide channel.
Yeah, but I don't. What I'm
true.
saying is, I don't have.
Oh
it.
no, I don't either. It's a
Stream.
waste of money.
You
stream
stream.
it all.
Yeah.
Stream it all. Yeah, I just got a new TV, and it's a smart TV, and it's just equipped with all the apps, and so it's like, why would I pay for cable?
Right. But
I've
we
got
digress.
internet.
We digress.
We digress. All right. So the week in between gives us a chance to dialogue and to talk, and the fans
Yes.
to discuss and to make theories and to just reflect on
Sometimes
how
make
great an
things
episode
up.
was.
Yeah.
Oh, we make stuff up
All the time. All
But-
the time.
Well, sometimes they're right.
We've been getting better, honing in
Yeah, a little bit.
a little bit.
So this episode takes a dual story like model,
And that
which
was
is
why I
super
brought
cool.
up the time. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I brought up the time, because they took the perspective of both Crosshair
Yeah, yeah.
and then the Bad Batch, the
Yep,
rest of the Bad
two
Batch.
teams.
The two
now,
teams
yeah.
now that we're working with. And so that's why I was like, I need a longer episode, because
Yeah.
both of those stories were awesome. And
Oh,
just
yeah.
like great. I would have it was good,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
would have loved even more detail on both of them.
Especially the Crosshair story. I
Oh,
mean,
of course.
I feel like the Bad Batch one,
Chasing
it fleshed out enough.
Chasing a moon dragon is like
yeah,
not as
energy
big of a
Moondragon.
yeah,
It
not
got
as big of a deal.
It let us see a little bit more of
Omega.
and we'll
Right.
talk a little bit about
Right.
that later. But
That was the whole purpose, though, of
Yeah.
that side of the story.
well, and one more thing, which again we'll talk about in a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
no. I
Yeah,
know
I
the
think
one
you
other
know
thing.
what I'm
I know
thinking
what
of.
you're talking about, because
We
it's
haven't
my
talked
man.
about the episode
It's my
yet,
man.
but-
I know.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love him.
Man. All right. Yeah. So, man, the Crosshair storyline, which comes from the title then of the Replacements, right?
Yeah.
Starts building his own team, and this guy, Vice Admiral Rampart, comes in.
Dual meaning.
Yeah.
Dual meaning on the title of the Replacements, because if you remember, they were also replacing the drive on the ship, which
Yeah.
is initially, I'm like, oh, this is a stupid replacement. Like, this is what we're talking about. This is why they named it.
Yeah.
And then I realized dual meaning here for also
Right, the actual troop.
actual soldiers that they're working with now.
Yeah. So Vice Admiral Rampart is obviously so we've got double, like the two sides of the argument, right? Where we've got the scientists on Kamino who are arguing for the continuation of the clones.
Right.
And we've got Vice Admiral Rampart who is arguing for conscription. Right. So bringing people in, the best warriors they can find, training them up, putting them in Stormtrooper outfits, and sending them out. And this tackles the topic that we really haven't talked about in Star Wars canon, which is why did the clones go away? Why did the Empire start using soldiers and not clones?
Because it never made sense to me. It never made sense to me why.
It doesn't quite make sense to me.
Well, no, but hear me out on this other thing. Why, when we're talking about the clones becoming Stormtroopers, the clones were the better soldiers.
Yeah.
You know, they talked about how a clone accounted for 10 droids or more.
Yeah.
And, you know, how did we go from a amazing clone trooper trained up from birth in tactics and war to then a stormtrooper that can't hit the broadside of a barn? Like, that never made sense to me.
Yeah.
We're finally getting what seems like a bit more of an answer and an understanding around, actually, it's not the clone troopers that are probably being depicted in 4, 5, 6 as being terrible shots.
Right.
And
it's the Stormtroopers.
It's the Stormtroopers. No, what I'm saying, it's not the Stormtroopers then are not clones.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
so what's important
I don't know if clone troopers will ever be called Stormtroopers. They might always just be clone troopers and replaced with Stormtroopers.
Well, no, but you have to look at it now. When they made this change, they're wearing Stormtrooper.
That's true. Their
uniform
is a little bit different.
They are the Stormtroopers.
Yeah.
They're Stormtroopers right now.
Right, and we're hoping that it culminates in the battle on Kamino.
And
we see it. That's kind of the ending of the clones.
Right.
And we talked about the first episode where they kind of were mentioning it has to do with money issues and like budgetary issues. Like, does the Empire have the ability to continue funding?
But they
clones?
add now to that the debate over loyalty.
Yes,
that even a conscripted, there's ways that a conscripted trooper soldier can be that they believe, or the Vice Admiral is arguing that they believe they would be more loyal than a clone, which is mind-boggling to me. Doesn't make any sense. But other than, you know, what is actually said, where the one soldier, and I can't remember which one specifically, said, the Empire is doing more for me than the Republic ever did.
Yeah, and so I think they'll draw on normal, like, human loyalty, passion, patriotism, whatever, like, of that, you know, we believe in a cause that believes in us kind of a thing. But they'll also, I think they're going to dive into just the, like, everyone has a price, and the greed and desire for power and fame and fortune is a stronger driving point than just like a programming. And also the fact that clones, like, are programmed, but, like, they can't then it's harder for them to shift based on emotions. It's harder for them to shift to where they need them to be, and maybe it's going to be easier to sway people than to sway clones outside of their programming in case the Empire ever changes. I'm not really sure. He definitely proved in this episode that the replacements were more bloodthirsty, or at least some of them anyway were.
Some of them were.
The mouthy guy wasn't. Man, as soon as that mouthy guy started going off,
he was dead.
I was like, I told Jamie, I'm like, Crosshair's just going to shoot him.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even going to wait.
Yep.
He's going to kill him. But I thought it was brilliant, like, when Crosshair did it.
I agree, because my thought was when he started getting mouthy right away, I thought Crosshair was going to shoot him right away.
Yeah.
Just right off the bat.
No, but he waited till he used the situation to increase the loyalty and dedication of the others, because he was like, by fear. And you know, and that goes back to the Empire, right? Like, the dark side rules with fear.
Right.
And so it's like you can't necessarily, it's different kind of fear when it comes to the clones. Like, they're programmed to a degree, and they have fear and they have trepidation and things like that, but like you can't rule them by fear to the point of changing their behavior based on fear. It's not the same way.
Which is why they need the chip. Yeah, it's
right, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great point, and why, you know, like, this line of good soldiers follow orders keeps coming up, and it's creepy as heck now. Every time Crosshair says it, it gets more and more creepy.
Yeah.
Like, he's more and more under their influence. They've increased that
well, they keep giving him the treatment.
Yeah, they keep giving him the treatment because they increase their influence with him more and more and more.
He's becoming more of a droid. Like
exactly.
he's becoming more of just a machine instead of a person, and to the point where he just kills the dude for not following his order.
Right.
He just shoots him, and then he's like, he didn't even threaten the other people. He just walked away and had them finish the job, and they finished it. And so that helped reinforce Vice Admiral Rampart's thing of like, well, the clones failed.
Right.
The best of the clones failed. The most, we might say that even the most human of the clones, right? Because the Bad Batch have the most autonomy.
Point. Yeah.
The most human of the clones failed, and the conscripted, the conscripted free will non-clone soldiers, they succeeded. They wiped them out.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to happen. You know? And so like that evil that they can manipulate in a person is not so easily manipulated within a clone.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely I see what you're saying of like the allure of the Force, or the dark side, and the evil and the greed and like your desires, like those things come more into play. They want that more from their soldiers because that can be more easily manipulated.
Right.
And I agree. So now you're talking like what's more easily manipulated? Somebody who's going to have like a chip built into them versus somebody who can be manipulated with money, greed, power, any of these things, and it'll make it easier to control than them and the galaxy.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is, the kind of soldiers they want are going to be the Bad Batch kind of soldiers.
Sure.
And they've proved that the chip is not 100% effective for them.
Yeah.
Like they're having to do continual maintenance on Crosshair to keep him in line. And the other ones,
and that's going to be more difficult,
more costly.
Yep, the others have run away. They're not getting that.
Right.
And the other thing that they highlighted here that was they're not going to be able to, and the Empire doesn't know this.
Right.
The Kaminoans know this.
Yeah.
This is hidden. Is that the original DNA is degrading.
Yeah, I love
that.
So
they're not even going to be able to produce clones the same way.
But they have a plan.
They do have a plan.
I don't know what that plan is. It's probably going to involve
it's Omega.
But
it's Omega.
But why is Omega's DNA not
great? Yeah, I don't know
not
that.
Deteriorating
That's the
question.
Way. That's the question.
No, yeah, exactly.
But my point around that is the Kaminoans, they can't even actually keep up with the production that the Empire is probably going to want. They're going to hide that.
Yeah.
But at some point, that's going to get revealed.
Yeah, and they're going to be in trouble.
They're going to be in a lot of trouble. They're not going to. That's going to lead the Empire to more move towards conscription and wanting that as a source of their army.
Yeah.
That makes more sense because it's like I can have a steady supply versus you're running low.
Right.
You're running out.
Well, and I just thought of this now, but like just the financial weight of losing a clone.
Sure.
Like they're so expensive.
Yeah.
And if they end up going defective or they end up whatever, and you kill them because they're not doing what you need them to do, that's a lot of money you lose. But these conscripted guys, right? Exactly.
On the front end.
Yeah.
That's the difference. You're right.
But these conscripted guys, just kill them. Like if they're out of line, just kill them and you get more. Like you got so many planets that are under your thumb right now.
Yeah.
Just draft them in. Just draft them and draft them. Just take, as we know the Empire eventually does, they take the children and they train them up, kind of similar to how the clones were trained from birth.
Right.
They take the young children and they train them to be soldiers. So it's like somebody does something, they get in your way or they get out of line, just kill them, and there's no skin off your nose. Just get another person.
Right.
They're
That's
expendable.
a great point. I hadn't thought of that initially. The clones,
you pay for them. They're
all of their cost is on the front end.
Yes.
Whereas
you drop all that money.
Conscripted soldiers, their cost is on the back end.
Right.
And if that person dies, if they need to be killed off, if they need to disappear, you're not losing that money then, whereas with the clones, you're losing it. You're losing a lot of money that you invested already.
And the majority of the people are not going to be as specialized or amazing of an asset as a clone. So it's like, if you kill them, you're not losing this great asset. Like if they have to end up killing Crosshair, they're losing a huge asset. He's incredibly important and skilled and whatever.
Massive investment.
Yeah, but the mouthy dude, he shot him and nobody cares. He's gone. And they just get another guy that can fit that suit.
Well, except for the fact that it was pointed out that like they were down a soldier And
yes.
he was, and I forget.
Yeah, but the mission was completed.
But the mission was completed.
Yeah.
I forget the line though.
Yeah,
it was more evil than that. It was almost along the lines of exactly what you're saying, where it's like that's their job. Their job is.
Oh yeah, they knew that. They knew the risk.
They knew the risk.
Like that.
They knew that, and it's like, okay, we'll go and find another one.
Right, and again, it's not like you said. It's not the front end. You don't have to go. You don't have to go drop all this money. You literally have to drop the money for the armor and the blaster. You're not dropping the money for the genetic, creation of this clone. So yeah. So we're seeing more and more into this fledgling empire and how they're moving from clone to Stormtrooper,
right?
And how they're shifting from clone to conscription.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was also the
like
interesting dynamic of the clones still have a role.
Yes.
But their role is going to be much smaller and much more specialized.
Yes.
Like they want to have those garrisons, not garrisons, those
like outposts.
Outposts. They want to have the groups trained by a specialized clone, led by a specialized clone, but everyone else is conscripted, specialized soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they still have a role,
right?
But it's much smaller.
Right. Wow. They want to get what
they
paid. They want to get what they paid for.
Right.
They paid for those roles.
Yeah.
But
so that's the one side
that's
of
the
the
one
story.
side.
That's the Crosshair
Crosshair's
side of the story.
getting more and more evil, but we do know that he is continually getting brainwashed. So he's still fighting, which means they can rescue him.
Yeah, and he's struggling with it. Or at least looks like he's struggling. They're making us believe he's struggling because when they return and they go into the barracks,
oh yeah,
he
looks
looking around.
That's where all his friends' stuff was.
Yeah, at the replacements going into their bunks.
Yeah, he looks at the tally marks on the wall.
The tally marks that Wrecker made. All of those things. That draws us to question, like how much is it requiring that constant maintenance for him, for that chip, that inhibitor chip, to actually keep in play? And at what point is it not going to be enough?
Right, and we've talked about this before, but one of the major themes of the Clone Wars series was brotherhood, and like the clones' immense brotherhood. And we see that like the Bad Batch is just struggling with the fact that they left a brother behind. Hunter mentions it multiple times that like we never leave them behind, like we can't leave a brother behind. And so that's strong. That's just as strong in Crosshair's head as is in anybody's.
Yeah, and even in Omega. That was really her response was, well, then we'll find a way to get him back.
We'll get him. Yeah. And she's got that optimism that the hardened soldiers don't have, which is great. But so let's get to that. So they end up having to crash land because of damage they took on the ship. And
I love Tech's response.
Tech is great.
His response is like, life support's not compromised.
Yeah,
we are crashing.
Yeah, we're gonna
crash. We are going to crash and we're gonna die.
We can't see anything.
Life support is still working, but it doesn't work when we crash and die. Like Tech's responses in that crash is amazing.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, well, he's clinical. He takes the data. He follows the data.
Data, compute, respond.
Yeah,
that's it.
So they get out to repair and they find out there are dragons,
moon dragons.
I hear you're a big fan of dragons, right? Especially when people are dragons and they breathe fire, right? So I'm just
you're really
sad.
Bringing this full circle.
I'm just sad we didn't see Guy Pearce out there.
No. Listen to me here. I have no problem with people. I have no problem with dragons.
Yeah.
I have problem with people who are
people
dragons and pretend to also be the Mandarin.
Okay, well, fair enough. All right,
that is my problem.
That takes it a little too far. Okay.
So this wasn't the Mandarin.
No,
these were moon dragons.
Energy-consuming moon dragons.
Which also very weird. I was like, these are energy-draining moon dragons.
We've seen. So I think of, they're not the same, but I think of weren't the maybe I'm gonna be wrong about this.
It's just no.
There's been energy. No.
Don't get me wrong.
I'm saying there's been energy consuming creatures in Star Wars before. So that's
yes, but what I'm saying is they happen to crash land. On the one planet that has moon dragons, which are energy consuming, and the part that they need to replace is the part that is is energy yielding.
Yay, scripting. Well,
it's just hilarious.
It is what
like they're really overhanded here.
They have bad luck.
Yeah.
So Hunter goes out to get the creature, and Omega somehow, for being like they're just dumb, man. Somehow Omega convinces him to take her with him. Like
that's so stupid.
That's just dumb. Like
Hunter,
no,
you're not.
Take
listen,
Echo.
Here's my
Echo,
thing
take
on this.
Tech.
Listen to me on this. This is the thing that's really weird. They're trying to play up this like
father-daughter thing.
Yes. No, but listen to me on this.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
My daughter Fallon is 6.
Yeah.
She waits in the cockpit. No, you don't go with me. As a father, I have a responsibility to protect her.
There's a dragon out there.
This makes no sense. There's a dragon.
Energy-eating dragon.
I'm going to take care of the dragon as a father.
Yeah.
You are staying here because I will protect you, and everyone else here is going to protect you.
Yeah.
This was not like they made out one of the worst father decisions ever to be like a father-daughter moment. And it's like, no, this isn't daddy-daughter workday. She doesn't come with you.
He didn't even give her a blaster.
No.
Like, just let her go out there. She's just by herself.
Oh, so stupid.
But we do see something that may tie into one of our previous theories, which is that she's an amalgamation of all their abilities because at the end, long story short.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Yeah.
Long story short.
Yep. Put that on a shirt. Long
story
shirt.
Sell it. Oh, we should.
That's a good one.
Merch. Long story shirt.
Long story shirt.
I'm going to have to make one up. We might have to make one of those. Sell to our Patreons. All right. So long story short, Hunter gets out. He gets knocked unconscious, and his mask gets knocked off by the creature.
Of course.
She saves him by putting the mask back on, and then she realizes she's the only hope to go get the device from the creature. It's classic, but she goes and she does get it, and she's very smart about like distracting the creature with more energy. She uses her flashlight, distract, and then she gets the piece. She gets out. That's all great, but at the end, he asks what she did or whatever, and she says, "I tracked him like you did."
Yep.
And so this is another thing of like, she shouldn't know how to track.
Absolutely not.
Not that fast.
No, you don't pick up tracking like that. That's
she watched
ridiculous.
him pick up dirt once.
Yep, that was
and
all.
then she
the
picked
whole
up dirt.
lesson. He picked up dirt. She picked up dirt. I know how to track.
Boom, I'm a tracker.
I am a tracker, and I'm a great one.
Which I would be mad about if I didn't believe, like we believe, that she is an amalgamation of all their skills, and she's enhanced in every way.
Yes.
And so she looked, she watched, she learned, and she's now a tracker.
Now my innate abilities are actually now enhanced.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is great.
I'm with you. I would have hated it had I not believed that.
Right, exactly. I would have been like, that's stupid. She's just a little kid. Why could she do that? Yeah. But she's a clone, and she's an Omega clone, which means she's the last clone.
Right.
Which means is she the last and the greatest of all clones.
Yes.
So hopefully,
with you.
Super cool. And the biggest thing, though, besides that,
I'm with you. I know what you're gonna say.
Is
Wrecker.
Your boy Wrecker.
I love Wrecker.
Man.
So first,
what happened to him in the crash?
So nothing happened to him in the crash.
Well, something happened to him.
No,
in the
it
crash.
didn't. No.
Something activated in the crash.
Yes. Yeah. So I think this. I don't know if it's activated in the crash or if it's just like innate timing and they're setting up for the storyline and we're waiting. Now his inhibitor chip is not working.
Yeah, his head's hurting.
His head's hurting. He's going to be saying at some point, good
soldiers follow orders.
At some point here.
Except good soldiers break things.
Unless in the crash, Tech was working
on he's working on
the inhibitor check detector or like scanner.
Yeah.
And so like that has to play in this storyline here of them seeing like probably in this next episode, okay, we're going to see our inhibitor chips. They're not working, except Wrecker's is more activated. And then how do we deal with this?
Right. Or what's going to happen is Wrecker's is going to switch.
Yep.
And he's going to go nuts. And they're going to have to stop him. And Tech's going to
luck.
have to use what he found to deactivate it.
Good luck.
He's
luck stopping Wrecker. That's not the one you want.
Well,
that's not the one you want to have.
Couldn't
that
have been
that
Echo
activated
or something.
Right.
Echo just doesn't do anything. But
apparently.
It did remind me,
they really are not taking advantage of Echo at all.
They will. I'm sure they will. But it reminded me.
Echo's going to die. I'm calling it now.
He already died.
He's going to die again.
That's a shame.
Hear me now. Hear me now.
All right, he's going to die.
He's going to die again.
So
because they're not using him.
So it reminded me.
They don't want you to have any connection other than like maybe a bit of
but they should make
him.
The connection. They're going to get rid of him.
Yeah, but it's going to be small and it's not going to be like one of them has to die for Omega to take their place.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I'm telling you.
So Wrecker's constant headaches was very reminiscent to Tup from when you haven't seen yet, but
I haven't seen
Clone
it, but
Wars
you
season. I've talked to you about it. when Fives first finds out about the inhibitor chips because of his buddy Tup.
Yep.
And his inhibitor chip going off too early. He says, I hit my head. I must have hit my head on the crash.
Right.
No.
No, you didn't.
You hit your head on the crash.
Yep.
No. It's the inhibitor chip. And
but also, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Again, this is another example of them being stupid.
Like the Bad Batch
they
or
just
the writers?
No, the Bad Batch.
Okay.
Like they just accept. Oh yeah, his head must be hurting.
Well,
you know, there's an inhibitor chip. You know what happened with Crosshair, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think. Yeah, I don't know, but they've gone so long since Order 66 was initiated. I think I don't know. Yeah, they should be a little more.
Come on, Tech should
and they
be
might be.
picking
Tech
up on
might
this.
be.
Hopefully he picks up on this.
He wouldn't say it unless he needs to. Like he would keep it to himself
too.
as he's working on it.
You're right, because he's done that before.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell us this?
You didn't need to know.
You didn't. It didn't seem important at the time.
Yeah. So I could see, but yeah, I'm not gonna want to see them have to fight Wrecker.
Right.
That's gonna stink.
I'm hoping this next episode, that's what we start to build up.
Yeah,
they're
sure
dig
they will.
more into this inhibitor chip.
Yeah,
they're gonna dig more into Wrecker's headaches.
Yep.
And also Tech's scanning of each of their inhibitor chips.
Yeah,
and seeing okay, where are we at, and having to have to think about what do we need to do to remove these chips.
Ooh, do you think Omega has a chip? Like her own kind of chip? Like maybe not the same chip that's Order 66, but her own kind of chip?
I would put money on the fact
and
she
what would it
does not have a chip.
You think she doesn't have it?
I don't think she has a
chip. So you think the Kaminoan doctor left her kind of clean?
I think they
chip.
left her unaltered. Similar
like Boba.
to Boba.
Yeah, okay.
Like less.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, she's going to have some alterations because of their specialities and us the belief
enhanced.
Of that, but no inhibitor chip. I think she's going to be a little bit more like a clean version of Boba.
Yeah, okay.
Like Boba.
Yeah. And how about her cute little room that Wrecker made?
He's
with
so
little
sweet.
Stuffed animal.
Wrecker is the best father.
He's the best. Yeah, you were saying this last
He's
episode.
the best father.
While she was gone, he's building a room for her.
Right. Hunter is Hunter's like, she doesn't have a room. Okay, great. Do something about it.
And Wrecker's like, I'm going to build it.
Right.
And while he's building it, Hunter's like, you can't go on the mission, but I want to go. Okay.
Okay.
Man. Learn to say no to your children.
The only thing Hunter did right in terms of being a parent was he stopped Wrecker from taking more food from her.
Yeah.
That's the only
Wrecker's
thing.
yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
No, what are you doing?
Wrecker, come on. You're better than this, Wrecker.
I love it.
You know better.
I love it, man. All their interactions are so great. But, I think the limitations are also endearing because they're not, when we talked about this before, they're not parents. They're not built to be that way. They're built as killers, as infiltrators, as warriors. They're not, it obviously makes sense to us, but for him, it doesn't make sense. Okay, well, and you know what? The clones, we've seen in Clone Wars, the young clones would be sent out on training missions and difficult and missions that were dangerous and they could handle themselves. And so he's used to clones at her age, already getting into combat stuff. So it probably to him is just okay, well, you're another clone.
Not batting an eye at it.
Yeah, but terrible father.
Yep, not good one. Thanks for listening to the Legion of Comic Correction. Don't forget to check out our other episodes streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on the major social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Legion of Comic Correction.
That's right. And make sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive supporter specials at patreon.com/legionofcc. New episodes come out every Monday.
And Wednesdays.
No, just Mondays.
And Wednesdays?
I don't think we can do Wednesdays.
We can do Wednesdays.
All right, Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same Legion.